So what's up, everybody? It's your boy Jonathan D'Angelo, aka Johnny D, and I am here today with another Blerd View session. Today on the show we have Sassyblackfeline. What's up, girl? How you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. All right, all right.
Yeah.
So today's topic brought you on the show because we're going to talk about a topic that's heavily rotated throughout the cosplay community, the nerd community, the Blerd community, especially lately. Dating for nerds. That seems to be a trial and a tribulation for us all. I know I touched on the topic with Charlie Rocket. I touched on the topic with Smoke Moran. And so we're gonna sit down and have a little discussion about your experience. But first, let's get into the logistics. So, how long you're a cosplayer? For those who don't know,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
how long have you been cosplaying?
So I have been cosplaying. My inaugural into cosplaying was 2013.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was to like NYCC, and then I kind of stopped. I didn't get back into it until 2015. So from there, it'd be like 3 years as a cosplayer. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna count 2013. That was just like, because I was introduced to it in my first relationship. So my then boyfriend had introduced me into the realm of cosplaying in 2013. But I started doing it seriously in the year 2015 by myself. So yeah.
So he got you into cosplay. Like, what made you stick with it?
Um, I stuck with it because during that time there was this whole thing about black cosplayers not sticking to just doing black characters. Oh, you can't do this cosplay because you're not the right skin tone, you don't look like the character. So I wanted to show people that despite being a black cosplayer, brown skin, dark skin, that you can do whatever cosplay, whatever character you want. You don't have to be confined to just doing black cosplayers, black characters, that's why I wanted to show that. And because at that time I was just going through a lot of things, so I'm like, okay, cosplay was kind of an outlet for me. So
Okay.
yeah.
So what was that moment that you found out you were like, no shit, a nerd? Was that during when you discovered cosplay, or was it before that?
Uh, you said, sorry, can you repeat that question? My bad.
Oh no, you good. What was your moment where you first discovered like, oh shit, I'm a nerd? Like, when was that for you? Was it when you first cosplayed, or was it before that?
Way before that. Way before that. I'm talking about like as a kid, I was kind of like a nerd because at that time when I discovered like anime, that was like, you know, me being a nerdling pretty much.
Nerd. I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
that was the
Nerdly.
start of it all.
I like that.
Yeah,
Nerdly.
definitely.
So okay, so what was the first anime you saw? What was the first anime?
Ooh. Well, simultaneously, it would have to be Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z because I started watching that when I was like really young, and they used to come, I believe, back to back at the same time. So I would watch that. Yeah, I think it was like New York, Brooklyn. It would be like Channel 5. Like I think it was like way early in the morning. But Sailor Moon would have to be the first one, and then it was Dragon Ball Z because they used to come on like simultaneously.
How old are you? How old are you, if I may ask?
27.
27.
27.
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
20. I'm 28. Are you about to turn
Hmm.
28, or did you just turn 27?
Just turned 27, so
Cause
I'm 91.
because everybody I talk to is like, yeah, man, Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z used to come on in the morning or late at night, and I'm like,
Yes.
Sailor
Yeah.
Moon and Dragon Ball Z used to come on after school, and people are like, "What? It did?" And I was like, "Am I that old?" Like, y'all got me feeling old out here. Like, did you ever watch Toonami? Like, do you remember Toonami at
Of
all?
course. It was
Yeah.
like a religion, you have to like watch that.
Yeah, so yeah, because people make me feel old because they're like me, Smoke, Charlie Rocket, we're like Toonami, and then Catherine McCadden, Demonte Outlaw, you people I've interviewed who are younger than us, they're like, yeah, late at night. I'm like, what?
No, no.
So, but no, I remember, yeah, I remember Toonami had the lineup. Only reason why I knew about Sailor Moon is because that was in the era before DVR and all that stuff. So like I had to watch
Yeah.
Sailor Moon to get the Dragon Ball, and I was kind of upset about that because I was like, man, this show's girly. I don't like this, And then jokes on me. My daughter now is obsessed with has a whole room decorated in Sailor Moon. So now it's karma come back to haunt me. But yeah, it used to be Dragon
Yeah.
Ball Z. It used to be Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, Gundam Wing.
Yes.
Outlaw Star used to come on.
Yes.
Yu-Gi-Oh, Yu Yu Hakusho, Rurouni Kenshin. That whole
Well,
line
Yu-Gi-Oh didn't come on until like a
later.
little bit later,
Yeah.
a few years after. But I do know Ronin Warriors was also in that, I
Yep.
believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then they used to have like a Batman animated series or Batman Beyond in between that that lineup.
Yeah, after they
And then they
took
start
off.
switching around.
After they canceled Kids WB, yeah, Cartoon Network absorbed all those shows. Oh yeah, I'm old. I remember all that.
Yes.
When Static first came on, and it was like, oh, he's black.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far
Far,
away,
far away.
far away. So how was it growing up? So it was. Was it anime? Did you read manga? Did you read comic books? Were you an open nerd? I know a lot of Blerds. They were closeted because to black people it's weird to be a nerd, and then to white people it's not really you're not really accepted in that circle, and if you are, you're like the token black person in that group, because everybody else is hiding. So okay, so based on that noise, you've had that struggle. So what's up? Talk about it.
Yes. So I didn't. It was only anime for me up until ninth grade. That was when I was introduced to manga in ninth grade. It was from a classmate. That was when I was introduced to manga. So it was just like I wasn't really like a closeted nerd in ninth grade because ninth grade was a way for me to like express myself because I was like a tomboy in ninth grade. So I had made like a lot of friends, and this was such a different atmosphere than it was when I was in middle school and like elementary school. Elementary, middle school to me would be kind of put together because I went to a kindergarten to eighth grade school all in one.
Okay, yeah.
So I was with the same classmates for pretty much 9 years, most of them in 9 years, because we were in like the same classes and all that. I mean, I was usually the quiet person, but then when I hit high school, that was when I started branching out and meeting more people. I had boys as friends and stuff like that. Like everyone knew I was a nerd because also I was an artist. I would draw like anime characters and all that, and read a lot of manga. Like I was never like I would never hide the fact that I was a nerd.
Yeah.
And I carried that on until when I transferred. I transferred after ninth grade. I went to a different high school. So even then, I was still a nerd. Like it never stopped for me, and even till this day, I am still a nerd.
So were you ever outcasted for being a nerd when you moved from your like normal group of friends to that new school? Were you ever outcasted for being a nerd?
Oh, yes, because that was also a different atmosphere, and that school is located in Bushwick. There was like a lot of tension between blacks and Hispanics because it was a predominantly Hispanic high school, and Bushwick is like predominantly Bushwick, Brooklyn. I'm only talking about Brooklyn because that's where I'm from, born and raised. In case anyone's listening and hearing that, I rep Brooklyn to the day I die. That high school was like blacks and Hispanics were just it was a lot of racial tension.
Yeah.
But that didn't really stop me from like expressing who I was. So yeah, I was definitely, to answer your question, yeah, I was kind of like outcasted because a lot of people they just didn't understand. Like they didn't know what they didn't understand. I think that's how it goes. So like they're like, oh, you're a nerd. Oh, reading those manga books, stuff like that. Like there's definitely cliques. Like popular people always, they love to, um, they just, were into all the drama and girls fighting with other girls about, oh, you stole my man and stuff like that. So I did my best to stay out of that. And I was just like with just a small group of people. And this was um, a smaller group of people compared to a bunch of people I made friends with in ninth grade. So it was like from a large group of people to like just like a couple of people because I couldn't really trust anyone.
Yeah.
It was hard for me to trust people in the new high school that I, transferred to. It's hard.
So, what was it like being the nerd girl? I'm pretty sure you had nerd friends, right? No, maybe.
Yeah,
So, what was it like being?
couple. It was only like one person that I was like friends with throughout the duration of my high school, but she was a year under me.
Mm,
So if I was in 10th grade, she's in ninth grade, so I was like her friend. And then even in my own classes with people who are in my grade, there was like a couple of nerds. A couple, just a little bit. There was not like a whole thing of like nerds. There was not even a group, like a club for like nerds at that school.
mm.
So yeah, it was really hard to like make friends with people who are nerds that I know who are nerds.
So you say you were a tomboy, so you had a lot of guy friends. Obviously, you were either baby sis or the homegirl or what have you. Like, how was it being a nerd girl in that group with all those guys? You know what I mean?
Well, ninth grade was when I was like, more of a tomboy. But then when I transferred 10th to 12th grade, I was like on the fence. I was like tomboy, girly girl. Because that was when I started expressing started getting into like different looks, like goth looks and makeup and stuff like that. So, yeah.
So you were the goth black girl. there's always there's always
Yeah,
one of
like
those. There's always at least one of those.
goth. Yeah.
There's
I
always
went
one
through
of
a
those.
phase when I was in 10th grade to 12th grade. I was
So
in a phase, yeah.
so what about now? Do you still consider yourself a tomboy, or do you still consider yourself
Mm,
goth? Or
definitely not goth, but tomboy girly girl. I'm like either or. I'm not like tomboy and I'm not girly girl. I'm either or. Well, yeah,
mm.
I'm like a mixture of both, basically,
so
of tomboy and girly girl. Yeah.
So to get to the bread and butter of this interview now.
Hmm.
So I mean, did you were you a more aggressive female? Were you went after guys because knowing you were a nerd? It might have been no, not at all. That's not a thing.
Even to this day, I don't go after men. I just don't know. It's just, I don't know, because I grew up being told, yeah, you shouldn't be chasing guys, let them chase you,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And on top of that, I'm kind of like shy, timid. I don't know, like to go up to guys and all that. It's just not my thing. I
Mm.
don't know.
So like so I take it then have you never been rejected then if you never approached them, right? Like that's
I never approached them because I was afraid of being rejected,
oh okay.
basically.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So like when you did get play and they did approach you, what was their response to you being a nerd? Like how was that?
Well, at that, it's weird because I know last month it was a whole big ordeal with that I've seen on social media. Black men nerds saying how black female nerds never approached them. That oh, they never liked us, whatever. And that brings me back to a time where there black female nerds have existed. It's just that you guys didn't want to approach us. You guys wanted the non-black female nerds or like the popular girls. You guys didn't want black female nerds. Like we've always been here. And why is it now that you guys are like complaining about this? Like what's the issue now? Like I don't get it. And that just it really irked me. Like it really did. Just I don't know. That just brought me to that whole scenario that was on social media. I think it started with the Donald Glover thing, which is
Yeah,
just
definitely.
crazy. Yeah.
I oh,
So
I will say I have to do it. I have to be the not all men guy. I gotta be only because as a nerd guy growing up, like I loved anime, but only because I didn't know the difference between anime and Looney Tunes. So like it was all cartoons to me. Now I fell in love with I always loved Batman. Zorro is one of my favorite. I'll be cosplaying him my next con. But Zorro is like my favorite, superhero next to Red Hood and Mr. Terrific. Like, I love superheroes. Batman. I've had every Batman action figure that's ever existed. And so growing up though, like I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, and so growing up in Atlanta, I've been to. But even in my predominantly black schools, my problem was black people didn't like me because I was a nerd, and they saw that as a white thing because the representation was predominantly white. And then black people didn't fuck with me like that because they thought that me being a nerd was me trying to be white. I was smart, I was intelligent, I was, my niche was in STEM subjects. They didn't like, why are you trying to act white? And I'm like, what? I'm dark as you.
oh
White,
my god.
and white people were like, yeah, we like you because you don't act like them.
Oh god.
What? And so like it was that paradigm that we all face. And then
Yeah.
when it came to nerd girls, girls actually didn't give me any play. I went to a predominantly black school, and even the Latinas were Afro Latina, and I wouldn't get play. I'd walk up to a girl, "What's up, girl? You so beautiful." Blah blah. I used to write poetry. I used to write poetry to girls. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna be 100. Let me just open up to you right now. I used to write
Mhm.
poetry to girls. I used to. My mom had a flower garden. I used to pick my mom's flowers, risking my own ass whooping to give the girls I had crushes on, and I wouldn't get any play because they'd be like, "Oh, well, you like what are you into?" Like, "Oh, I read comic books, and I
Mhm.
like anime, like Dragon Ball Z, blah blah blah." And I'd ask my homeboys like, "Yo, you seen Dragon Ball Z last night?" "Yeah, yeah." But that's when everybody was watching it, so Dragon Ball wasn't really a nerd thing so much; it was a cartoon thing, But
Mhm.
I didn't play sports like everybody else. I didn't I wasn't into like the latest dances and all the other stuff. I was into comic books and video games, and women didn't give me any play. I have a laundry list of black women that I've tried, and they were just like, nah, nah, you're a nerd. I don't like nerds. I like jock. Or in the early 2000s when it was cool to be a thug, oh, I like thugs. Well, I don't do that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
So
I do. Yeah, I do see where you're coming from. I think that anyone's experience with that is like subjective. So, but my experiences was like totally different when it came to that because even I would even like go back to like how it was when I was single for like the first half of the year last year. Like this guy came to me, he's like, "Oh, I thought you were like one of those girls that one of those regular basic black girls." Until he discovered like well, once he's started to get to know me, whatever. He's like, "Oh, you like anime and stuff like that." I'm like, "Yeah, I like anime and I play video games." Like, yeah, I'm not, you know, quote unquote basic black girl, but So like, I don't know. Um, it's weird because um, it was only like Latino men that were like attracted to me once they find out that I like anime and video games and all that. It was not really like black men
mm,
that like that. Yeah. So I was like pretty much ghosted by them.
mm.
So
And see, yeah, and that's
yeah.
and that's what a lot of and that's what a lot of that's what a lot of blurred girls say. They're like, yeah, man, black men don't fuck with us, and then black men are like, well, y'all don't fuck with us either. And so it's been and like there's the lucky ones. There's the lucky people who find that it's like Cutie Pie Sensei. congratulations on her marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like, I met her husband at the MamaCon after party. Her and her husband. Yeah, I mean, like
Oh my god.
you have like, shout out to the Blerd cosplay goddess, but you have, like instances
Yeah.
where you have that. You know what I'm saying? But then you have like mixed race couples, like Charlie Rocket, which there's nothing wrong with that. But everybody has the same story. That's a mixed race couple. They're like, yeah, well, I mean, my people didn't fuck with me, so. But I mean, and that's it's weird. I feel like maybe we need our own dating site. Maybe that's what it's gonna take. Like, because truth be told, I mean, growing up, I didn't know a goth was a nerd. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, there's always, like I said, there's that one goth black girl, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
she's dressed funny. You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean? Like, I'm dressed all prep because that's what was in for the nerds then. You know what I'm saying? And then everybody's
Mm-hmm.
dressed all white tee, saggy pants. And then you got this goth girl. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
you're cool. I like you. I fuck with you, but you
Mm-hmm.
dress different. But like, I never made the correlation that goth and emo could potentially be nerd culture, because all I knew was, it just, I had the baseline anime, video games, comics, like, but I'd never seen, you know, that spectrum before. And so it's like, I think there's a
Yeah.
disconnect when it comes to what is a nerd and what isn't a nerd. Or who or what, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't make the
Yeah.
correlation that we transcend a lot of different categories within our main four, you know, food groups of like gaming,
Yeah.
literature, cosplay, and
Yeah.
yeah, and anime. Like, we don't realize that there's a transcendence below those, that, or above those, however you want to look at it,
Yeah.
where we fall.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, I would have dated the goth girl back in the day, but she turned out to be lesbian, so it was like, okay, well, there's that.
So.
But you know what I mean? But like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
but I think maybe we need to, as a community, come together, sit down, and be like, all right, this is a dating app for us guys, and this is how we're just gonna stick together. But
Yeah.
what's it like dating you as a Blerd girl? Like, what typically? I know you can't encompass all Blerd girls into this one conversation, but what's it like dating
Yeah.
Sassy Feline? What's that? What's that? What's it like?
Oh my god. I don't really think this does that much to me, honestly, because I'm a changed person now. So like what I used to be is back then is like not how I am now. Because like I'm more like education and career oriented. So that pretty much took up a chunk of what of what I'm into and um, nerd wise. Um, I'm very opinionated. Sorry, not sorry. I'm just very opinionated. Um,
Sorry, not sorry.
I am. It's you know, especially when it comes to um, like dealing with black women and what black women have to go through.
Mm.
Um, I'm very opinionated on that, and especially like Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. So, um, yeah, I have like my own sense of style, pretty much. Changes, changes, it varies. I'm a really nice person. I can keep secrets. Um, I'm all ears. Like if someone has like, really wants an advice, I'm able to give it to them however I can. See if they'll take it or not. Works. Um, I cannot stand fake people. I just can't. I can't stand fake people. Um, and I like having friends. Although when I get, as I've gotten older, I've been able to weed out people who
Yeah.
are just not fit for me. Just I've been able to do that. So because I can't stand toxic people. It's just not my thing.
So as a nerd girl, right? You're still into the cosplay, obviously, into the video games. I mean,
Yes.
so, and this is a loaded question. Don't shoot me. But I mean, just out of
Okay.
curiosity, like, so is it hard to find somebody that actually matches with you? Like, is it that difficult? And is it because you're a nerd, or is it because men ain't shit? Like, let's just, what I'm saying? Like, what's the?
Well, I can't really say men are shit. I
Mm,
can't. I don't know. I just can't bring myself to say that. Um, but yes, it's hard dating. And I say that because it's hard dating because people are so used to, well, what it is now, to go on dating sites and find that person. And I've been the one to do that. Like, I've been on Plenty of Fish. Okay. Mainly Plenty of Fish and OK Cupid. Those are years ago. My recent relationship, I met him on OK Cupid as friends first. And then that developed into a relationship. I no longer do any of those. I haven't done OK Cupid in like over 2 years. I just didn't feel the need to I didn't feel the need to do that because it's just like a lot of creeps on there, especially OK Cupid. I haven't touched Plenty of Fish in like 3 years, but OK Cupid, no. Um, another alternative to meet, like people who are like men who are into the same stuff as me are parties like cosplay parties and stuff like that. But then I just feel like it's kind of like overwhelming for me. I don't know. Because I recently went to a cosplay, it's a DBZ party, Dragon Ball Z party. You guys are cool, but I didn't like go there to like mingle with guys because obviously I was still in a relationship. So yeah. I didn't really feel the need to like mingle with guys, flirt. I don't even know how to flirt, to be honest. So those are just some outlets. But if you take away all of that, especially if you live in New York City and you're timid and you're shy, it's harder. Harder. Yeah. So it's really hard to find a guy who's like into all that without having to deal with like if they're like, if they have kids and stuff like that. To me, I just can't deal with like the baby mama drama stuff. It's just not. I'm like super picky and I have really high standards because of past relationships and all that sort of dating. So that's just how I am. I just want a life that doesn't want a partner that doesn't have like all that drama because I'm already dealing with my own crap. I don't want to have to deal with my own crap. Yeah. I just want something simple.
So, do you feel like, I mean, we're millennials, and half of us have already bred at least once, myself included. Do you? I mean, what to you would be acceptable versus unacceptable? Like, I know you don't want to do a baby mama drama, but I mean, what if he had 2 kids? Greatest guy ever. He just had 2 kids. Then what do you do? He's a nerd. He does all this and all. Like he everything you want, but he has 2 kids. Then what? Like, where's the line in the sand there? Where do you lean? You know what I mean?
The only line that would be probably drawn is if you are backed up on child support, you shouldn't be dating. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Facts. Facts. Okay, facts. I wasn't expecting that, but facts. Facts. I like that. So, would you be willing to change your moniker? Like, change your outlook? Like, would you be willing to get more bold to get what you want?
Because the thing is, I've been telling my mom about this. I mean, I know my mom probably has an idea that I am different, but she doesn't like make fun of me or anything like that because she knows that all of us are different. Because I have like 3 other siblings and we're all different. We've been made fun of for talking white and liking different stuff. I've recently expressed this to my mom because I was like, oh, I don't want to date a guy with kids and stuff like that. She was like, well, people your age have kids. Like, it is what it is. And I'm just like, I don't think I'm like ready for that. But I think that the media kind of gives it a bad outlook. Because if you watch like Love and Hip Hop and those shows, like it gave me, because I'm sorry, I like my ratchet show. As long as I'm not into drama, I like my ratchet show. But from people I have been friends with, stuff I've seen on TV, they have a kid with somebody and they're not with them anymore, and they're dealing with child support issues and stuff like that. Baby mama drama. I'm like, whoa, I don't think I really want to get into all that. So it's just like, I just want something simple, you know? Maybe, well, the only way I might change that is when I get a little bit older.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, I wouldn't mind dating a guy if I was like a little bit older. If he had, if he had a kid or whatever, I wouldn't mind that. If I was a little bit older, because I can't really process that thought of having to be a stepmom and all that. So like, that's why I'm like, I don't want to deal with that. Like, no.
But would you be willing to, like, you said that you were always scared of rejection. I mean, hey, it goes both ways. Men hate rejection too. That's why you get those dudes when you're like, they're like, hey, yo, ma, come here. And you're like, nah, I'm good. They're like, well, fuck you too then, bitch. It's like, what? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, it's a man's, it's not acceptable. I'm not condoning it.
Yeah.
It's just, but what I'm saying is it's their defense mechanism for being rejected, and, but despite your fear of rejection, would you be willing to approach a man to get what you want out of a relationship?
No.
Nah, not even one. Like, no, not at all, not at all. Like, just walk up to a con and he's dressed as like, Black Lightning. He's like, hey, you come here. Nothing. Like, let's go get lunch. No, terrible.
No, I'm never the first to like do that. It's just it's not in me. I don't know.
But it might. But like every nerd. Okay, so we're all nerds, right? We're all nerds, and not every nerd is bold. You know what I mean? So like, there's the guys that might, they might, you might walk past them as launch, and they be like, damn, she's fine. And then, but they're nerds, so they're like, well, I'm not gonna talk to her because she's not gonna give me no play. She's Sassyblackfeline. She's a famous cosplayer. She's not gonna talk to me. You know what I mean? Like, there are guys that have that stigma, black guys even, that have that stigma where I'm not gonna, because nerds, if we get rejected, it's cool because we still have our relationship with our comics and our video games, so we're okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, and I say that jokingly, hopefully, because there are some people who take their video game characters a little too far. But what if you see a guy and he's doing his thing on the cosplay floor, and you just, hey, what's your name? You want to get lunch? No, that's just a little bit, man.
Too forward for me.
Too really
Too forward.
Old fashioned.
Yeah, I'm old fashioned.
What happened to the saying that, saying if you're you're bold if you're from Brooklyn? What happened?
What?
No.
I don't know. I can't do it. Maybe I probably won't say that. Like, oh hey, you want to get lunch and all that? I probably won't even say that. Like, oh hey, your costume is really cool. Maybe we should add each other on Instagram. I want to see more of your cosplays. Then yeah, and then probably be like sliding into the DMs and whatnot. Because that's usually how it goes nowadays.
People aren't
like, oh, I saw you at a con. Thought you looked really cool.
People aren't for it nowadays.
The questions ensues. So like, I think that's a good way. Mm. But I wouldn't be like, hey, you want to get lunch?
Wouldn't even.
Because what if they're like,
what if they reject? Well, I mean, but you wouldn't even slide them your business card like, hi, I like your cosplay. Here's my business card. Keep in contact. No.
Maybe. Maybe.
We're getting somewhere. We're breaking the mold here.
Yeah.
Because
the only thing is, what if they have a girlfriend or, something else?
I mean, but that's the dice you gotta. I mean, that's the game you play. That's the dice you gotta roll. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I feel you. I feel you. You know what I mean? I feel you. It's like, it's the games you play. It's the dice you gotta roll. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things where you don't want to get rejected, but then at the same time, I mean, you never know till you know. You know what I mean? And then if you don't know, you're sitting there late at night thinking, like LL Cool J, when I'm alone in my room, sometimes I stare at the wall, and in the back of my mind, I hear my conscience call. So it's like, Yeah, I was a hip hop geek before I was a comic book nerd. So nah, but yeah, I mean, you gotta you never know till you know. So I mean, how will you know or not know? I
True.
I know I know you I know you recently said on your storyboard that you never dated a Hispanic man again. That was interesting. so so I mean that does narrow your margin to three races. So you got you got three races worth of men that say you could trial and error against. You know.
Yeah, they're just so disappointing. Yeah.
but But like, what about like so? And then what about have you ever like hooked up with somebody through one of your cosplay friends, like your cosplay female friends? Like, hey, this is such and so, and he does what we do. And no,
Wait, what do you mean by
like if
that?
like say if you and do you know Lux Steels?
No, no.
Okay, so say
She's a
like
Brooklyn cosplayer?
no 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 no.
Oh,
Say
oh,
it's like one of your Brooklyn cosplay homegirls was like, hey,
oh,
this is dude I met. I think he'd be cool for you. Like, oh wow.
oh, from like a cosplayer recommended another cosplayer. Is that like another like a male cosplayer?
Yeah, like a blind date type thing.
No, I have not. No one has ever done that. No one has ever done that.
All right, so we're on a
Um,
mission now.
I mean, I have. Well, shout out to Vanta Black cosplay. That's my friend. That's my friend. That's my friend. Because I was with her at the DVD party, and there was like one guy I was telling her like, "Oh, hey, look, I know that guy." Um, because I used to like see him at like these type of parties, cosplay parties and stuff like that. So
mm.
I'm like, he always show up out of the blue. I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" Whatever. Like he's cute and all that, but it's just like, nah,
You scared of the rejection.
nah, yeah.
Vanna Black is actually going to be on my show next week. So
Really?
we're gonna have this we're gonna have that matter of fact next Monday we're gonna have that conversation. I'm gonna bring it up. We're talking about a totally different topic, but I'm definitely gonna bring this part of our conversation up. Um,
Uh,
yeah, that's gonna be interesting. But I mean, why not talk to him? Do you know the dude? Like, what's up?
yeah, I forgot how I met him. Oh, I met him at a friend's party, house party thing that he was having. Yeah, and then I was like, he had complimented me on like me dancing. He's like, "Oh, you got skills dancing, whatever." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." Whatever. It's like, "Oh, thank you." And I was with one of my best friends at the time, and I was telling her, "Yeah, he's cute. You should get his number," because I was like in a relationship already.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this stuff happens when I'm in a relationship. But I don't know if she really like went out on a date or anything. I don't think she did because I think she was like going on a date with someone else. So
What's his name? What's his name? What's his cosplay name?
not
No,
gonna
no,
not
no.
gonna say,
But
but
you know him though. You know him. You know
yes, I know
you
him.
follow him on social media.
Yes.
Oh man. Oh sucky now. What's up? All you gotta do is just you slide in the DMs, be like, yo, what's up? When's the next cosplay party you going to? We should go together.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, hey, you're
Well,
it's right there. That's a either like I said, you won't know till you know. You won't know till you
true,
know. So he see
true.
you all the time, you see him all the time. Y'all could be thinking the same thoughts. You never know till you know. You got to be
Well,
optimistic.
since I'm like fresh out of a relationship, I don't think it's the right time to do that.
Okay,
You know,
facts,
gotta
facts.
let gotta let that hurt breathe first. So
But you can still put him in that perpetual friend zone you females are so famous for.
I'm actually infamous for doing that. So
I mean, you could always put them on reserve. Like everybody has a reserve shelf. You know what I mean? Like
oh
until you get
god,
married, everybody has that reserve shelf that they put people on. Like
yeah,
right there. You can put them on. So
yeah.
you can put them on reserve. You know what I'm saying? And then as soon as you're ready, he can come off the bench like LeBron. Dropping 50 a game.
So weak.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, do you believe? So here's my final question. Here's my final question. So being a woman, particularly a black woman,
Hmm.
but being a woman in general. So being a woman in general, you have the narrative that you're supposed to find a good man and take care of the household and live that fairy tale ending. As a black woman, we have a slightly black people in general, but as a black woman, we have a slightly different narrative based on cultural influences. So, like, I mean, there's the stigma and the fear that you might end up a single black mom, or
Oh,
that, or
um,
you're killing me right now, or that you know, or that you have to like, what I'm saying you don't, or there's that stigma that you don't need a man because men ain't shit or quote unquote niggas ain't shit, so like do you feel like that seeing on TVs on Disney on anime where the girl gets the guy like in Sailor Moon or in one of the Disney princesses, the girl gets the guy and you fall in love and they live happily ever after. And then on the other hand, you have the stigma, the real life black woman stigmas and stereotypes. Do you feel like the narrative is overrated? Do you feel like what you saw on TV is how you feel deep down your life should be? And then what you see in movies, hip hop, and even in real life, do you feel like maybe is that your fear?
wow, that's a fully loaded question.
Yep, don't shoot me.
Um, Actually, the portrayal of that strong black woman, which a lot of black women are like, they're sick and tired of hearing the strong black woman thing because it's kind of like almost unreal,
Mhm.
that we shouldn't have to carry all that weight. And it's not fair
I
because
agree.
like some of us aren't really strong, which I agree with. And then the single black woman or single black mother thing also kind of haunts me because it's like my mom is a single black woman,
Mm.
mother, and she has been through so much. So I was like, okay, I don't want to have to struggle like that. And then the fairy tale thing is just like, well, thinking about all those, it's like, yeah, it is. I do fear for that because you know I grew up in a very different upbringing,
Mm.
um, because I am of West Indian descent, so it's like I grew up in a West Indian household, so it's like it's expected that I get an education, I get a good job, and all that. Get married, have kids, like yeah, the American dream. So it is a lot of pressure, especially seeing those negative portrayals too.
Mm.
There is a lot of pressure. So that's why I'm trying to take it slow and like focus on goals, financial goals. Growing up, um, I feel like in a lot of ways I had to grow up really fast because it's like, okay, got to get a job to um, pay bills and all that. So it's like it's really hard. Um, and then like the independent black woman too. Okay, that's pretty much what I am. So there's a lot on my plate, and trying to have a positive outlook on that is really hard. It's really hard. It does kind of mess up a black woman's mental health because it's a lot.
No,
It's a lot
definitely,
to deal with.
definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you feel like that affects your relationships with men in general? That I mean, like they come into a relationship and they see a strong black woman, they get intimidated, or they see that you have a powerful, strong presence, and they're like, oh shit, like, like, or
Yeah.
they want to treat you like. I know a lot of men get intimidated by the fact that they don't feel dominant or masculine in a relationship because the woman is doing better or she's not as submissive as they thought. I know culturally, like, there are instances even in Hispanic culture where the woman is more submissive to the man in certain ways. And so, being a black woman, where culturally we force you guys to be better than us, and we do. A lot of black men are no, yes, we do. We force you guys to be stronger than us. A lot of men in a lot of different cultures aren't used to something like that. I mean, it's one thing to have a woman slap you up and snap on you for looking at another girl's ass, and then there's another for, like, I don't need you, but I want you here. A lot of men can't handle that. And I'm not going to lie. Growing up, initially dating, even I myself had trouble with it because, like, I'd have black women tell me, I don't need you. And I'd be like, well, damn. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? Like, I want you here, but I don't need you. It's like, like that. I know Derek Jackson of Team Jackson. He was talking about that a while back. He was like, it's sad that women say that they don't need us when honestly, like, he said himself, like, and he's black. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's black, and he was like, I would never say that because my love for you allows me to need you because I need you in order to facilitate that love. But back to the point, like, we push black women to the forefront, and we force you guys to be independent and successful. A lot of men are intimidated by that, especially in different cultures, and I know that has to affect how you guys go about dating. you know you guys live your entire lives with this narrative that you have to be this and you have to be this way and you have to be that way and you can't let this get in the way. And then you have a man come in, and maybe he's trying to be a man, and he's thinking the same old school mentality that I have to provide, I have to take over, I have to be in charge. And then he comes to this conflict because it's like when you have an unstoppable force that meets an immovable object type situation. you know have you personally ever experienced something like that?
Yes. Yes. Um, Most of the guys I've met have been like intimidated by me because I'm like such a go-getter. I don't like, I'm always working and all that. I'm always trying to aim for my goals. Um, and I would have to bring colorism into this because, like, especially with like black men, they think that darker skinned women are like, they're too dominant and to this and to that. And then they think that lighter skinned black women are like, oh, we're submissive and, this and that. And it was like, what? That does not make any sense.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't. I mean, I'm not a dark skinned woman, but I'm more in between because I'm not light skinned either. But it's just like, I just think it's kind of dumb. But I don't mind the independent black woman thing. I don't mind it at all. But I can understand how other black women are affected by that, and the strong black woman thing. I can understand that. I can understand how much they don't like that label, and damn it. But that also kind of like there's like remnants of slavery in that too.
Yeah.
Because if you kind of think of what slave black women had to do, they had to breastfeed the white child and all that. And I think that's that has remnants of slavery in it as well when it comes to black women, the independent black women. So, yeah. But when it comes to like dating, it's just like sometimes I feel like I'm at fault because of the way I was raised and the way I was, taught on how I should be. So there's like a lot of pressure on that. And then with them, if they're like, oh man, I can't deal with you. You're just too much. And then they just see that as a way of like finding someone else who's more submissive and more someone that doesn't engage in arguments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like they don't really like that, the abrasiveness. So yeah, I mean it's kind of puts a damper on like future relationships, but it is what it is. Oh, but
See,
I'm learning to be patient about it. Just
that's good.
yeah.
I know. I know. I know. You know. I feel bad because like a lot of people like I see the look on your face. A lot of people come on my show and they don't know what to expect, and I give them like a pre warning like, hey, this ain't gonna be no what's your favorite anime character type of interview, and they're like, oh okay, and then like we get into like the deep waters, the drowning waters, and they're like, oh man, that was so I'm not I apologize if I kind of like dug a little deep there, you know. But oh, I think I lost you. That's weird. I lost you.
Hello.
Yeah, I lost you for a second.
Oh man,
No,
is it me?
I don't know. It froze. It's fine. I'll just it's absolutely fine. I can edit the audio. That's no big deal. So
Okay.
I can't see you, but it's all
Alright.
good. But yeah, I didn't mean to.
Sorry.
Yeah, a lot of people. No, you're good. A lot of people come on the show and they don't know what to expect. So I got like I said, I got I tell them it's not going to be, this is, what's your favorite anime character type of interview, and a lot of people are surprised at the depth, but I mean, you're a person, you know what I mean? And you have your own feelings and you have your own opinions and, you have your own experiences. And a lot of people share the same, feelings and opinions and experiences that you do. And it needs to be told, you know what I mean? It
Yeah.
definitely needs to be told. And I appreciate you coming on the show and talking about it. And anytime you want to stop by, just let me know and we'll hop back on. Too easy. But where are we gonna see you at next? Where are you gonna be at?
Okay. Where will it be? I think is it 2 weeks from now? 2 weeks from now, I believe next week is. I think it's next week is BurrowCon, and that's located in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
After that is it's called WinkCon, but uh it's an acronym, Woman and Comics Con.
Oh wow.
That's also in Brooklyn. Yeah,
Okay.
that's also in Brooklyn, and that's at the end of June. And then after that is BlerdCon, which is in Arlington, Virginia.
Yeah.
So I'll be there with Banta Black cosplay.
Oh okay. Bad.
And fast forward, I'll be at New York Comic Con and Liberty City. Liberty City? No, sorry, Anime NYC. Anime NYC, I'll be there. And then maybe WinterCon. They're all like NYC, Liberty, Anime NYC, and WinterCon are all in New York. So BlerdCon is the only out of state con that I'm going to.
Okay. Bad. Yeah, I keep getting people keep saying, "Are you coming to BlerdCon?" And I'm like, probably not. And they're like, "What?" So yeah,
Yeah.
I need to get my life together. I live in Alaska, so I live on the other side of the continent from everybody. So
My
like,
God.
yeah, trying to get to a con is about $2,000 round trip almost. Yeah, that's just for
What?
yeah, that's just for the plane ticket, not to include room and board and transportation. Yeah, it's a lot. So like my mom lives in Atlanta, so like when it like MamaCon, I was there because I was like, huh, mom, need a place to stay. What's up? Where's my room at? Still there? But yeah, so but yeah, I appreciate you coming on the show. It was amazing.
Thank
Always a
you.
pleasure. Um, and yeah, definitely stop by. But I want you to talk to that guy. I want you to DM him. You gotta DM. You never know until you never know until you know. You know what I mean? You never know until you know. So you can at least
Yeah.
throw him in the on the reserve seat. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
put him on the bench, let him warm it up for a second. You know, put him in, take him to practice. You know, see how his jump shot goes, and work from there. I mean, we definitely as nerds, we definitely need to reach out to each other because we outsource thinking that we don't want our own, and that's not the case. It's just working up the nerve to actually talk to each other and being like, hey, I like you, and I like you too. And
Yeah.
that's usually the case. So,
Hmm.
but all right, sweetheart, thank you. This has been another
Thank
Blerd View
you.
session. Sassy Black Feline, Jonathan D'Angelo, aka Johnny D, and we are signing off.
Thank you guys.